All right, so far so good.
All right.
Letting people in here and all right, welcome. Well, I'll give it just a second here so people are still connecting. And if I don't know if you have the chat up, but if you do, if you want to jump in on a question or something, feel free if you see something before I get to it. Um, um, all right, welcome everybody to a Free Thinkers Corner, Pharaoh Feb, the last week of Pharaoh Feb author interviews for us. Tonight we have Jennifer Estep. Um, she's a New York Times and USA Today and international best-selling author. She's the author of urban fantasy and paranormal romance books. She has numerous series, such as Section 47 series, Elemental Assassins, which sounds really interesting, Crown of Shards, Gargoyle Queen, Mythos Academy, and Mythos Academy spinoff, which the spinoff, we do have all 3 books in that in the store, and they each come with a signed bookplate. Big Time series and Black Blade series as well. And she loves all things related to superheroes. Jennifer, welcome to a Free Thinkers Corner. And we may end up experiencing some technical difficulties at times. Jennifer is frozen right now, so she's going to try and get that going. So in the meantime, I know, Vela, I can't believe it's the last week, and I've myself had a blast doing all these events. And so just we'll talk a little bit about her different series here while we're waiting for Jennifer to reconnect. So our Section 47 series, magic, extraordinary abilities, urban fantasy, spies with magic, elemental assassins. We've got a whole bunch in that series. Looks like 20 plus books in that series. Assassin codenamed the Spider, who can control the elements of ice and stone when she's not busy killing people and righting wrongs. Her name is Jin. She runs a barbecue restaurant called the Pork Pit in the fictional southern metropolis of Ashland. So that one sounds interesting as well. They all sound really interesting. Crown of Shards is another one. There's 3 books in that one. Kill the Queen, Protect the Prince, and Cruise the King. This series focuses on Everly Blair, a member of the royal family who is distantly in line for the throne of a kingdom steeped in gladiator traditions. Gargoyle Queen is another one. The next series. Let's see. This focuses on Gemma Ripley, the Crown Princess of Andvari. Let's see. She survived the horrific Seven Spire Massacre, an event that is never far from her mind, despite the cheerful demeanor. Now, 16 years later, Gemma is known as Glitzma, a pampered princess who travels to various kingdoms on the continent, going to parties, shaking hands, or performing in inane court duties. But her traveling ambassador's role is just to cover for Gemma's secret spy missions. Her Mythos Academy. Here we go. I think we're getting Jennifer back here. Her Mythos Academy is a young adult series, and it has a spin-off series as well. And we're back.
I'm so sorry about that. I swear this computer hates me.
That's all right. Just been kind of going through your series, different series. So, and welcome. How are you tonight?
I really hope my computer doesn't freeze up again. So fingers crossed.
That's all right. That's all right. Still talk. Plenty on your website to talk about if we need to. So, so you have all these series. Go ahead if you'd like to talk about them. Well, let me start with you have urban fantasy and paranormal romance. What is urban fantasy and how does it differ from, or how does it go along with other types of fantasy in the fantasy romance genre?
Well, paranormal romance usually is about a different couple in every book. Like in my big time superhero series, the first book is about Carmen and Sam, and the second book is about Fiona and Johnny, and so on and so forth. Whereas a lot of urban fantasy series tend to follow, one main character over the course of several books, like in my Elemental Assassin fantasy series, or even in my Mythos Academy and my Spartan young adult urban fantasy series. So to me, that's kind of one of the main differences between urban fantasy and paranormal romance.
So how did you first get into writing fantasy and paranormal romance?
Well, I always loved to read ever since I was a kid. My mom used to take me to our little local library every Saturday, and I'd get a whole stack of books to read for the week. And we would go back the next Saturday, and I would get a different stack of books to read. So that's how I fell in love with reading and books in the first place. And I always loved things in the fantasy genre like the Star Wars movies or the old Wonder Woman show with Linda Carter, the old Batman show with Adam West, just anything that was fun and had a lot of action and adventure in it.
So your one of your paranormal romances is called Section 47. That one sounds more like a spy type paranormal romance.
It is. It's basically an urban fantasy book, basically spies with magic. And in that one you get the heroine's point of view and the hero's point of view. So, I kind of go back and forth between the two different characters.
Now, you're also, according to one of your bios, you're most famous for your young adult Mythos Academy series and its spinoff. And like I had said, we do have the 3 spinoff series books in store. Tell us about the Mythos Academy.
Well, I would say that I'm actually more famous for the Mythos Academy series in Germany than I am in the US. Those books are very, very popular in Germany, which is really fun because I get a lot of fan mail from people in Germany and Austria and Switzerland and all over the place. Basically, the Mythos Academy series, it's urban fantasy, it's young adult. The heroine is 17, and she basically goes to a boarding school for the descendants of mythological warriors like Spartans and Amazons and Valkyries. And there's a lot of talk about gods and magical creatures and artifacts. There's a lot of Greek and Norse mythology in that series, which I think is one of the reasons why, people like it so much.
Now, you mentioned Germany, and so that makes you the international bestseller, a best-selling author. You just had published on February 9th in English a short story, epic fantasy story, um, the, the beauty of being a beast. I can't read my own writing. So that started off in originally published in Germany, and we lost her again. Let's see if I can find that real quick. It was on her blog. So if you go to jenniferestep.com, talks about her books, her self-published The Beauty of Being a Beast, fairy tale themed short story. February 9th, it came out in English. It is a beautiful cover. Let's see, credits go to Jenny Zamanek for her cover. The cover in the German version was originally published in German in an anthology called The River, Witches, and Mermaids in December of 2020, and then published in English here on February 9th. Says Jennifer's a big fan, a big believer that fantasy books should have cool, fun, whimsical font typography, and she absolutely enjoys the cover. So what it's about is Lady Grisel Modern is cursed. On her 16th birthday, an evil wizard transformed Grisel into a werewolf-like beast because of a past misdeed by one of her ancestors. Now, with her 21st birthday approaching, Grisel has only a few days left to make a boy fall in love with her, or the curse will become permanent and she will forever be a beast. But breaking the curse isn't Giselle's only problem, and evil is lurking in the forest, one that is creeping closer and closer to the castle. Grisel will have to summon all her beastly strength to defeat this evil, even if it means dooming herself forever. It's a 7,000 word short story, and it originally appeared, like I said, in the where is it? River Witches and Mermaids. Of course, I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to try to pronounce the German in it, but you. There we go. So it was published originally in German in December of 2020, and now it's published in English here. Tell us. I just kind of read a quick thing according to your blog about what it is. How is that working on that short story?
It was really interesting. I actually got to go to Germany in 2015. I got to go to the Frankfurt Book Fair, which is one of the largest book fairs in the world, and it was just amazing. I mean, we're just talking floors after floor of books and magazines and cards and comic books and just everything kind of book related you could ever like want in the one spot. And while I was there, I met a guy named Christian Handel, and he was basically my translator. I would do these Q&A sessions, and he would, tell the audience what I was saying in English. He would translate it into German. And he is also an author, and he every year for the past couple of years he has been editing a collection of fairy tales. And I was finally able to work it into my schedule where I could contribute a short story. And Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite fairy tales. I love the Disney animated version. Beauty by Robin McKinley is one of my all-time favorite books. So it was really fun to put my own twist on the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale.
So have you ever so obviously Europe has a lot of mythology, a lot of myths, a lot of fairy tales where a lot of them came from. Is that kind of what how you get your stories and what you think of? Well, a quote I have is from your website is you prowl the streets of your imagination in search of your next fantasy idea. Is that where all those fantasy ideas come from?
Pretty much anything can spark an idea.
So I'll ask her that again when she comes back. In the meantime, let's look at another one of her Jennifer's series. Let's go to the well, I had mentioned the Section 47 series. So that there's got a couple books in it. Um, let's see, actually, it's one book right now. The ebook will be out pretty soon. So let's go to the Elemental Assassin series. So again, we got 3, 4, 5, 18, 19 books. And first one's called Spider Bite, Web of Lies, Venom, Tangled Threads. I'm not going to read them all. They're around 10,000 words or less, and there are some novellas. So the next series is The Crown of Shards. This one sounds really interesting to me. There's 3 books: Kill the Queen, Protect the Prince, and Cruise the King. Cruise the King, Crush the King. Can't read it. Series focuses on Everly Blair, a member of the royal family who is distantly in line for the throne of Bellona, a kingdom steeped in gladiator tradition. But when the unthinkable happens, Evie finds herself fighting for her life, both inside and outside the gladiator arena. Then Gargoyle Queen is another series. As a girl, actually, that's the one I just read. And then, so the Mythos Academy spinoff. Let's start with Mythos Academy. There's 6 books in that. Give me just a second here. And we're connecting with Jennifer again, and we're back. So we were talking about your short story, and is Germany where you get a lot of your myths and ideas from all the fairy tales?
What I was saying before I got cut off again. Sorry about that. Just about anything can spark a story idea, the way someone laughs or how they walk down the street, or, a lot of the times
And we lost her again. So we'll keep going. So the Mythos Academies, the young adult urban fantasy series, focuses on Gwen Frost, a 17-year-old girl who has the gift of psychometry, or the ability to know an object's history just by touching it. After a serious freak out with her magic, Gwen is shipped off to Mythos Academy, a school for descendants of ancient warriors like Spartans, Valkyries, Amazons, and more. And now the spin-off focuses on one of the side characters, a 17-year-old Spartan girl who attends the Colorado branch of Mythos Academy. Her parents were Reapers, which makes her the most hated girl at school. But with a new group of Reapers and mythological monsters on the rise, Rory is the only one who can save the Academy. Like I said, we have these in store. Jennifer's Big Time series. Looks like there's 7 books in that one. It's paranormal romance books, takes place in Big Time, New York, a city that's full of heroic superheroes, evil urban uber villains, and other fun, zany, larger-than-life characters. Each book focuses on a different heroine as she navigates through the city's heroes, villains, and their various battles. And then finally, we have the Black Blade series. The Black Blade young adult urban fantasy series focuses on Leela Merriweather, a 17-year-old thief who lives in Cloudburst Falls, West Virginia, a town dubbed, quote, the most magical place in America. Tourists come from around the world to tour all magic-themed shops and attractions, as well as see monsters like tree trolls, copper crushers, and more in their natural habitats. Leela has a talent for sight, along with transference magic. In other words, magic that makes her stronger. To survive, she does odd jobs for a pawnbroker friend, and she does her best to stay off the grid and avoid families or mobs who control much of the town. But when she saves a member of the powerful Sinclair family during an attack, she finds herself caught in the middle of a brewing war between the Sinclairs and the Draconis, and the most powerful family in town. And we're back.
Let's hope so.
Yes. As you're saying.
As I was saying, again, we were talking about story ideas, and anything can spark a story idea, whether it's the way someone laughs or how they walk, or
And we lost her again. All right, so there's some Elemental Assassin short stories. Looks like a lot of these are e-novellas. We'll kind of go through these real quick. These are the listings is for the Elemental Assassin stories, which have appeared in various anthologies or being released as ebooks only. Most of the stories are standalone adventures, although they may differ. They may refer to events in the books and the stories. These include hints of Hobwebs, Thread of Death, Parlor Tricks, Kiss of Venom, Unwanted, Nice Guys, Bite, and Winter's Web. Some of them are young adult, some of them are adult. She does have some free reads as well. Let's see. Assassin books and stories are intended for adults only. All right. So that's one thing we were going to get into later on. So the Elemental Assassins are, she advises, are for stories intended for adults only. You should be 18 years old or older to read the books or the excerpts that are posted on our website. Please be aware that some of the stories do contain spoilers. She's written several short stories to go along with the Elemental Assassins books, which we just showed. Let's see, Spider's Bargain. This short story takes place before the events of Spider's Bite, the first book in the Elemental Assassin series. In Spider's Bargain, Jin Blanco takes on a corrupt cop, but only one of them will be left standing in the end. Still waiting on Jennifer to come back. The story Web of Death. This short story takes place after the events of Spider's Bite, but before the beginning of Web of Lies. In Web of Death, Jen Blanco's retirement is interrupted by some unwanted guests. If you go to her website, you can read, you can expand on the different ones and read the stories. And then, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about another 6 other short stories under the free read section on Jennifer's website. So I think we've jinxed that question. So I think we'll move on to the next question. Are you still there? No, I guess we lost her again. So I think what we're going to do is, as soon as we can get her to come back, we may just go ahead and cut this short and try this again another day. Hopefully we can get a better connection. In the meantime, while we're waiting, Web of Deceit. These are again continue on her short stories. Short story takes place when Jin is a teenager. It's told from the point of view of Fletcher, her mentor, and focuses on her first solo job as an assassin, as the assassin, the Spider. Poison. This short story takes place when Jin is a teenager, and it's told from her point of view of Finnegan Lane, her foster brother. Wasted. This short story takes place in between the events of Web of Lies and Venom. One day, a beautiful woman walks into the bank where Finn works, and trouble soon follows. Tangled Dreams takes place between the events of Venom and Tangled Threads. It's told from the point of view of Jojo Devereaux and her sister. Another one is Tangled Schemes. This short story spans a period of time, starting from the last chapter of Spider's Bite and ending right before the beginning of Tangled Threads. Let's see, what else we got here? Spider's Nemesis spans a period of many years, beginning before Jin was born and ending during the events of Tangled Threads. And then Hanging Out with Jen Blanco and Jane Yellowrock, the complete interview. So she actually has an interview between some of her characters. Here's a fun extra for urban fantasy readers. Faith Hunter writes the Jane Yellowbrook urban fantasy series. Many folks who read Faith's books also read Jennifer's Elemental Assassin urban fantasy series, starring Jin Blanco. So Jennifer and Faith thought it would be great to put together an interview with the two leading ladies, Jane and Jen. And thanks to Mud at Let's Talk Promotions for agreeing to host the interview. So you can actually, it's on looks like a SoundCloud thing too. So you can either read the interview or you can listen to it on SoundCloud. Let's see, let's take a look at some of the extras again. There was one that was really sounded interesting. So to read the story, like I said, you go to jenniferestep.com. At the top is her books at a glance. And actually, this is under the extras. And Spider's Bargain, the extra starts with, the cop was going to die tonight. He just didn't know it yet. Hi.
Hello. I'm so sorry. I apologize for this. My computer just doesn't like Zoom.
It happens. If you like, we can maybe continue and try again another time, or if the next time it freezes up, we can just call it a night.
Yeah, the next time it freezes up, we'll just call it a night.
All right, so we'll try and get through this as quick as I can then. Where was I going? Do you have any plans for other fairy tale type stories?
I think it'd be really fun to write some more fairy tale stories. I actually have an idea for like a twist on Cinderella going to the ball. But I don't know when I'm actually going to have time to write that. But it is percolating in the back of my mind. There
is an interesting book that I just read about Cinderella, kind of a spin-off. It's something Stepsister. It just came out.
Ugly Stepsister?
No, I'll have to look at my 'cause I did it through audiobook on Libro FM, which, by the way, I wanted to say thank you for using Libro FM. I wanted to get that out there real quick. Of course, we get the chance, we'll talk about audiobooks later, but her book, it was the latest one that came out. It was Kill the Queen, correct? You
I
just
don't
posted it.
know.
I think you just posted about it the other day.
Oh, I have Capture the Crown is actually coming out in July.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's what it was then. Um, but it is will be available on Libro FM, which of course is what supports our store as far as audiobooks go. Let's see. So you love all things related to superheroes. We had a guest a few days ago, TL Heinrich or Trish Heinrich, and her urban fantasies or romance fantasy romances are superheroes. She's a superhero fan. Who are you a fan of? What superheroes are you a fan of? And I think that's going to do it for this evening, because I think we're going to this is going to keep happening throughout the night. So I apologize to everybody, and I'm sure Jennifer is upset about this as well. But I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you to everyone who joined us on Facebook Live and on Zoom. Watch our Facebook page. Watch the Pharaoh Fed page, Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, all those, and we'll see if we can maybe get another time with Jennifer. Again, do apologize, but we do thank you for showing up, and I hope everybody has a good night. Again, the Spartan series, Spartan Heart, Spartan Promise, and Spartan Destiny are available in store with us. Go to bookshop.org as well. You can get a few of the books there. The ones in store come with a signed book plate and some other neat little things. She's got this great notepad for the for Kill the Queen. On the other side it says Crown of Shards, if you can all see that. Neat little lined notebook. Have a few of those, have a few bookmarks as well. So again, thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.